Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Pope Francis, the first Latin American leader of the Roman Catholic Church, has died at the age of 88.
Carissimi fratelli e sorelle.
Cardinal Kevin Farrell said, "Dear brothers and sisters, it is with profound sadness I must announce the death of our Holy Father Francis."
Santo Padre Francesco.
His death comes after he appeared at St. Peter's Square on Sunday to wish Happy Easter to thousands of worshippers.
Cari fratelli e sorelle.
He was discharged from hospital last month after 5 weeks of treatment for an infection that led to double pneumonia. Pope Francis was born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Argentina. In his early life, he worked as a nightclub bouncer and floor sweeper before graduating as a chemist. He was particularly prone to lung infections due to having part of one of his lungs removed at the age of 21. Ahead of becoming the head of the Catholic Church in 2013, he presented himself as a compromise candidate by appealing to conservatives while attracting the reformers with his liberal stance on social justice. Rejecting wealth and embracing those living in poverty, his early actions as Pope included washing the feet of the elderly and prisoners and advocating for the rights of refugees and migrants. But on many of the Church's teachings, Pope Francis was a traditionalist. During his tenure, Francis oversaw a rise in the number of Catholics worldwide, driven primarily by growth in Africa and the Americas. Crowds were gathering outside St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City as tributes from around the world poured in, including from King Charles III, who met the Pope privately earlier this month during his state visit to Italy. The King said he was deeply saddened to hear of his death, adding, "His Holiness will be remembered for his compassion, his concern for the unity of the Church, and for his tireless commitment to the common causes of all people of faith and to those of goodwill who work for the benefit of others."
Good morning. How are you? Find yourself. Good. Yeah, thank you. Happy Easter to you, Father.
US Vice President J.D. Vance, who met the Pope on Easter Sunday, said his heart goes out to Christians. "I was happy to see him yesterday, though he was obviously very ill," he said. The White House said in a post on X, "Rest in peace, Pope Francis," while Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni praised him as a great man and said she had the privilege of enjoying his friendship, advice and teachings. A papal funeral has traditionally been an elaborate affair, but Pope Francis recently approved plans to make the whole procedure less complex, opting for a simple wooden coffin, lined with zinc and scrapping the tradition of placing the Pope's body on a raised platform for public viewing. Francis will also be the first Pope in more than a century to be buried outside the Vatican.
Habemus Papam.
At 88, Pope Francis ended his term in office as the second oldest among all popes from the past 500 years. He will be laid to rest in the Basilica of St. Mary Major, one of the 4 major papal basilicas in Rome. Ukraine's military has reported Russian drone attacks on several regions overnight, hours after a 30-hour Easter truce declared by Moscow expired. The Ukrainian Air Force has issued raid alerts for Kyiv, as well as several other regions. Elsewhere in the southern city of Mykolaiv, the city's mayor said explosions were heard. Both Ukraine and Russia have accused each other of violating the temporary end to the fighting. And robots have run alongside humans at the Yizhuang half marathon in Beijing. 21 humanoid robots designed by Chinese manufacturers raced next to thousands of runners completing the 21-kilometre course. The winner was Tiangong Ultra, which crossed the line in 2 hours, 40 minutes and 42 seconds. Some robots completed the race while others struggled from the beginning. One robot fell at the starting line and lay flat for several minutes before getting up and taking off. The race was billed as the world's first robot half marathon. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.